Hi guys, welcome back. I've set up my new microphone. Hooray. Let's give it a go. Hopefully the volume's okay. But now I can just look, here's a microphone. I can just talk. Marvelous. What did we do last time? We got shot by the police and now we're apparently criminals. So, we're on the run. Amazing. Just what I like to see. There we go. Now the Alt key's working as well. That is so important for me because I have incredible OCD. Sinless. You scramble up a ladder and through an accessway where the sewer system spits you out into the Hong Kong Mass Transit Railway System, the MTR. Crossing the rails, you climb up to the platform and into the station. Above you is Hioi, where the rat shaman and the little decker plan to plead your case to kindly Cheng, the one woman they know who can help you get underground and off the grid fast. But there'll be a price. Cheng is a triad boss whose favours tend to come with strings attached. The sound of a waterfront at night. The sounds of a waterfront at night leak down from the stairway to the surface. Peering up the steps, you can catch a glimpse of the night sky, overcast and low. The sewers deposit you into a series of mechanical accessways that eventually link to a system of railway tunnels. Gobbet leads you through 5 or 6 magnetically sealed doors and across several sets of electrified tracks until she indicates you've reached your destination. She holds up her hand, indicating the surrounding platform. This is the MTR station for Hioi. Once you go up those stairs, you'll be in our neighbourhood. Kindly Cheng runs her operations out of Mahjong Parlour, where a Mahjong Parlour there called Swift Winds. Okay. Wu rips off his goggles. There's an APB out on us. How do you expect us to get to this Swift Winds place without taking a bullet? Hioi is well known as a protected area. Kindly Cheng sees to that. It's a shadow community. Smugglers, hijackers, black marketeers. You get the idea. Cops tend to give the place a wide berth. Isabel gives a shallow nod. Her gaze remains planted on the floor. Police cameras don't last long here. Between the smog and the cloud cover, we shouldn't have to worry about drone surveillance either. The HKPF won't find you. Not if you follow our lead. Gobbet widens her stance, puts her hands on her hips. Now, here's how this is going to work. You can't get an audience with Cheng until we secure you an invitation, so me and Liz will go on ahead to pay our respects. Then we'll request that she see you, politely. An audience? What is she, a queen? Her arms cross and her eyebrows raise high. As far as you're concerned, yeah, she's the Queen of Kowloon. Gobbet holds up her hand. One more thing. Kindly Cheng is a dangerous woman. She may seem friendly, but don't let your guard drop. Whatever you do, do not disrespect her. I've dealt with dangerous people all my life. I know how to behave myself. You'd better. If you don't, it's all of our asses. She lets her hand fall, nods to the three of you. Okay, we'll go on ahead and smooth the way. I'm incapable of reading. We'll go on ahead and smooth the way. Just give us a few minutes head start. If I turn this on, will the green screen be better? Yes. Yes, it will. What if a local recognises us from the news broadcast, calls the cops? Gobbet smirks and shakes her head. No one in Hioi calls cops. Doing that around here is a quick way to get dead. I get it. Her eyes narrow and she nods approvingly. That's good. You catch on real quick. We need your SINs burned as badly as you do, and we need to figure out a way out of this shit, or we're all dead. Isabel quickly turns away. See you at the Mahjong Parlour. The Shadowrunner's footsteps quickly fall away and you're alone with Wu. He grunts something unintelligible and begins panther stalking back and forth again, bootprints of sewer water and muck marking his path on the subway platform behind him. Minutes pass. Wu stops his pacing and runs both hands over his face, groaning, a sound of anxiety and disgust. It dissipates, and he stands there silently, his hands covering his face and his shoulders shaking with emotion. Then he begins to laugh. It's a laugh that comes from deep down, from the place where fear and frustration and impotence swirl. But the barrier holds. Wu focuses, taking control of his breathing, and his laughter begins to slow. He becomes himself again. Oh my god, Male. An aftershock of laughter shudders through him. Are you fucking kidding me? What the hell are we doing here? How did we get into this? He drops his hand and turns to you, shaking his head in disbelief. I think I'm gonna lose it. Bullshit, you're a rock. He exhales hard and nods his head over and over. I'm trying to maintain. Seriously, I am, but... Carter is dead, Male. They fucking ended her. He puts a hand to his forehead. I don't know what I'm gonna do now. Sounds like she was more than just your partner. He turns to you with a blank face. More than just a partner. Of course she was. Then he gets it and his hackles raise. She was my training officer, you idiot. My mentor. Felt like you two were close. Wu waves you off with a gnarled hand. Carter was my partner. She had my back. Do you get how important that is? What it means to lose that? When you're out there on the street facing down a food riot, you need to know someone's looking out for you, that you're standing next to someone you can depend on. That was Carter. His shoulders slump and he exhales heavily. And she was my compass, my anchor, or some such shit. She kept me, I don't know, sane. Sounds like a good woman. Don't patronize me, Male. He takes a step back, sucking in deep breath. I thought this guy was supposed to be my friend. Like, he's being an absolute asshole. Screw it. Whatever she was, I'm throwing her down the memory hole. You know why? He snarls, spits. Because it doesn't matter now. Because we're going to burn our sins, Male and dear. Jesus Christ. Do you get what that means? The moment we do that, we're dead. To all the world, we're dead. We're wiped clean. He counts it off on his fingers. Raymond, the house we grew up in, my career, Carter, all gone. No home, no money, no identity, nothing. He waves his hand away, waves his hand and brushes it all away. We'll be nobody. Enough with the drama, Wu. Put on your big boy pants and help me find a way out of this. Put on your big boy pants? I've been wearing big boy pants for years, and who the fuck are you to tell me that after all this time? Wu neck cranes forward. His lower jaw thrusts out ahead of him. You left me behind, Male. You left me behind. You left me behind. Memories flash bright. Suddenly you're back 8 years ago, on the street outside of Raymond's house. Just you and Wu, the middle of the night. What happened 8 years ago? You can't just leave like this, Male. What am I going to say to Raymond? You know how he is. I got something to attend to, Duncan, and it can't wait. That's what you keep saying, but you still won't let me tell me what's going on. What is so important you have to run out now in the middle of the night without even telling Raymond? He's distraught. You can see it on his face, hear it in his voice. He used to be lost without you. They're all the truth. It's a job too good to pass up. We could use you. You're good in a fight. Some people mess with me and I don't intend on letting them get away with it. I could use their help. I need to see a guy about deal, the good kind of deal. I've got a friend in a bind, Duncan. That's all I can say about it, and I have to go and help. Some people mess with me, bastards. His eyes widen. I can't give you help like that anymore. I'm on a good path now, Male. I can't afford to mess that up. Look, whatever's going on, I can tell you one thing. Raymond will not approve. I know. Why do you think I'm sneaking out? Be back before the weekend. You remember the look on Duncan's face as you walked away. The events that followed were a blur, one that you don't care to remember. 3 days later, you were behind bars in a private, corporate prison. No interrogation, no charges, no appeal. Years later, some corporation bought some other corporation, and the new board of directors pushed through some sort of reform agenda, and the higher-ups gave an order. And then you were out, with a few hundred new into your name, and a one scary as hell non-disclosure agreement ensuring your silence. Not that it mattered to you anymore. You were starting fresh, determined, until Raymond tracked you down, left you that voicemail, brought you to Hong Kong, and back together with Duncan Wu. Back together with Duncan Wu. You realize the Wu's been staring at you. Now let's hear it. Where the hell have you been all this time? Why didn't you contact me? At least to tell me you were alive. I wanted to, Duncan, but I was locked up tight. Corporate black site, no communication. No shit? He squints at you, full lie detector mode. Oh, fuck. I had no idea. A range of emotions play across Wu's face. He stares at the ground for some time before finally looking back up at you with a heavy sigh. Wow. I really don't know how to process that one right now. He shakes his head. I don't know. If we're still alive tomorrow, we can talk more. This shit's too much. We're marooned on this island, hunted by the cops. My partner's dead. Raymond's missing. And we're about to go see a crime lord about erasing our goddamn identities. And as a bonus, our only allies are a pair of tiny criminals who would kill us if they could, so they didn't have to deal with this. He rubs his head viciously. Terribly, terribly. Listen, Male. Back in the Barrens, whenever I was out of control, you just handled the situation, remember? With Carter gone, I'm just a raw nerve. I'm afraid I'm going to slip back, and people are going to start getting hurt again. I got the lead, Duncan, just like I used to. He stares at you hard, like he's trying to see something inside your head. Then he checks his weapon, cocks and locks, back to business. Good. Now let's go meet that triad woman and get our damn sins burned. I want to rip off the bandage as fast as I can. Okay, why is it so blue? Why is it so blue in here? Hioi, a makeshift boat city latched onto the Kai-Tak riverfront like a parasite. Behind you, a massive snarl of dark and derelict high-rises dominate the horizon, the walled city. Alright, let's start this way. Use the intercom. A massive steel security door is set into a bunker-like concrete wall. There's no sign or identification of what this place is. A battered intercom is encased in a cage of welded steel and armoured glass. Grainy letters are barely readable on the screen. Chrome Alley, medical services and mechanical repair. Premises protected by deadly weapons and infectious diseases. Beep. There's a crackle of static, then abrupt voice answers. What do you want? The voice's Cantonese is precise, but the accent sounds American. Is this a medical clinic? No, it's a chicken factory. What do you want? I'm looking for a medical clinic. Yeah, that's me. But listen, guy, I don't know you. I don't like people I don't know. Who sent you? I'm friends with Isabel and Gobbert. Yeah, those two drag some real prizes out of the river. You get Nightjar to vouch for you. I'll consider giving you the time of day. Got it? You're gonna let me in or not? Not without somebody vouching for you. This is a private neighborhood clinic, not a shelter for homeless idiots. But I'm one of Kindly's people. Really? Ah, I'll just check on that. There's a long, static-laden silence on the intercom. Then it reactivates long enough for 2 words to reach you. Fuck off. Alright, asshole. Alright, asshole. I do wish there was like a map in these games. I'm so OCD. I really need like actual maps. Hello, Triad Guard. The thug looks at you dead-faced. Despite his street clothes, he wears a high-tech earpiece. The entrance to the walled city is closed to foreigners. Okay. And who are you? Frederick Cafe. That's close enough, friend. The club is members and invites only. I suggest you move along. Come on, man. My friends are already inside. Can I just go look for a second? No. The insulation on these heavy wires is cracked. They buzz and crackle occasionally as stray drips from the awning strike them. Right, that's where I'm supposed to go, but as you know, I like to explore. So let's explore. I mean, I'm guessing this is our market town, our hub. That's what I'm getting. Bolt hole. The original name has been sloppily painted over with black paint. Newer but somewhat weathered characters have been painted in bold brushstrokes to read Bolt hole. Wait, can we go up here? No. No, we cannot. Hello, smuggler. Just off the docks, you spot a sea-worn man with a smile that's almost too wide for his head. His teeth shine white against the thick black bush of his beard. His clothes are a myriad of colours, patterns and fabrics. A smattering of cultures draped across his body. If there's anything he's clearly advertising, it's the extent of his travels. You see something you like? His voice is coarse, like steel wool on your eardrums. Come and get it, because now's your last chance. Everything's on sale. Won't find prices like these anywhere else, my friend. You from around here? No, not I. Not here. Plans to leave these waters soon as I wrangle up enough supplies to do so. He leans towards you, voice lower, breath surprisingly free of alcohol. There are things happening here. Locals call them dreams. I call them evil. And I don't want no more of that. What did you dream about? Does it matter? All I remember clearly is how I felt during and after. Drained, as if these dreams leached away some of my good years. No more of that. If you know what's good for you, you'll leave too. You really think they're that bad? No doubt about it. No doubt about it. They're evil, all right. And things will only get worse. And even if they don't, you'll never forget them. The feelings, the thoughts, they set into your mind like a stain. These goods of yours look like they've changed hands a few times. You selling stolen merch? He shrugs, the motion nonchalant and uncaring. I take what I can get. Sometimes I find things, sometimes I take things, sometimes I play the game. Invest a little, make a little something more in return. He crosses his arms and looks over you. Why'd you ask? You judging a perfectly respectable businessman such as myself in these harsh times? You've never been in this business. I can see it. You've no right to fault me. Hey, I get it. You gotta do what you gotta do. That's right, and I get by. Thankfully, I've got no family to feed, just some crewmates, so I keep myself afloat. Even make a little extra to enjoy life's finer things, like travelling. He nods his head approvingly. Anyway, I'm nearly stocked up. Just a few more trades and a few more sales, and I'll be on my way to Macau. This is your last chance to buy any of my wares before I set sail, so have a look. What have you got, Doc? A firewall? How much money do I have? 1,253. Could buy a sniper rifle. Nah, fuck it. Thanks, dude. Not interested. There's the Mahjong parlor. And nothing much else. The Swift Winds Mahjong parlor, filled with the stink of cigarette smoke, the incessant click-clack of Mahjong tiles, and the grim faces of hardened gamblers. Come in. We have a lot to talk about. Yes, we do, kindly Cheng. You can feel every eye in the room as you cross the Mahjong parlor to the middle-aged woman sitting patiently at its end. The click-clack of ivory-coloured tiles stops. Hands stray behind tables, into jacket pockets, behind backs. The woman has the face of a prison guard, and the demeanour of an inmate. Her salt and pepper hair is pulled into an iron-hard bun, and beneath it, two shiny black eyes offer nothing, buttons sewn on a doll. A nearly empty bottle of something foul rests on her mahjong table, nestled between a pair of dirty shot glasses. Tiny puddles of brown linger at their bottoms. Gobbett and Isabel stand on the other side of the table, heads lowered, shoulders slumped, hands clasped. They risk a frightened glance at you as you approach. Kindly Zheng's voice is nasal and rusty mean. My little pair of fuck-ups here told me all about what happened on the docks. She dips a pinky into a shot glass, brings it to her mouth, removes it with a sharp smack. How two of my best runners had their heads put out. How you need protection, and how you need to get your identities wiped before you get your heads put out too. Potentially leading the heat to my front door, placing me and everyone in my employ in danger. She fingers the rim of her glass. So wise. So very, very wise. The young shaman's eyes never leave the floor. We're sorry, Auntie. We thought... Her black eyes flash. You mustn't speak until you're spoken to, Gobbett dear. Her smile turns mean. And since you are one short hair away from being dumped in the river chained to Isabel's corpse, I suggest you let your new friends here do the talking for a while. Does that make sense to you, dear? Her treacle voice is back, sweet, nasal and grinding. Dark circles ring Gobbett's armpits. Yes, Auntie. Cheng inclines her head gently. Very good. You learn so quickly. Remain silent. She pours another drink. Her cheeks are rosy, already flushed. Now, my darlings, I understand from little ratshit here that you came from Seattle to meet with my client, Mr. Black. Wu's jaw tightens at the word client. But before you could find him, the HKPF started splattering grey matter everywhere and everything went to shit. And now you need your SINs burned so that you can disappear before you end up dead too. Is that right? Can you help us? We'll see, my dear. Why don't we start with you telling me who you are? Call me Wolf. Oh, you've already chosen a street name. How prescient of you. Cheng looks at you approvingly. Wolf. It's a good name. Has real character, yeah. See, she knows. She knows. She flutters her eyelashes at you. Now, what's your real name? I mean, do you want me to erase your identities? I'll need to know who you are first. Mel, I do what he's doing. She rests her chin on her hand. I know the type. And how did you become someone who does what needs doing? Picked it up young. I've been in the cooler for a few. Wu's brow furrows and he shakes his head. Still can't believe it. Kindly Cheng whips her head towards Wu, a nasty retort already on her lips, but then she stops, sticks out the lower lip as she sizes him up. She turns to her lieutenant standing behind her, nodding her approval. Looks like the gun show is in town. What's your name, gun show? Wu's focus remains straight ahead. Duncan Wu, I'm a cop, Lone Star. I hear there was some fresh corpses found on the docks tonight. Smugglers, I believe. Didn't sound like the Hong Kong police when I heard about it. You're doing Duncan Wu? Wu's eyes remain fixed on a spot on the wall behind her. He smoulders. I identified myself as Lone Star, but they wouldn't stand down. They had weapons. It was self-defense. She puckers her lips at him, her voice sing-song. I don't care, sweetie. They weren't my people. But now I know you're a life-taker, Mr. Gunshow. You and your friend here. She begins arranging mahjong tiles on the table in front of her. But now I'm curious. Why were you meeting Raymond Black on the dock tonight? He was our foster father. Here's my thought process. She's obviously someone who knows how to get information. She probably already knows all this shit, so us lying will just piss her off. That makes her pause. Cheng lifts her bottle of swill and eyes the label, connecting the dots in her own head. Interesting. A look of disgust passes over her face. Sorry, kids, but he was looking like shit when I saw him. Eyes half open, dark circles around them, dragging his feet, the whole bit. She tusks in pleasure. Your foster daddy was in a bad place. Sounds like he wasn't sleeping. Could be. From what he said, it sounded like he was having nightmares. He would stop in the middle of a sentence and mutter something to himself. One time it was about the walls breathing or something. Another time it was about teeth. Thousands of teeth. I remember him drifting off near the end of our meeting. It looked like he was off somewhere else in his head. He said, I left prosperity in there. Then Nightjar put his hand on Mr. Black's shoulder, asked him why he wanted to go into the walled city so bad. That seemed to bring him back. When your old man opened his eyes, they were full of tears. Then he muttered something else I couldn't make out. She pours herself another shot, tosses it back, rubs her belly. Your daddy got really irritating after a while. I can imagine. She grabs a long, slim cigar from a pack on the mahjong table, lights it. All right, let's get to it. She exhales smoke and points two fingers at you and Wu. You two need your SINs burned, and you need them burned fast. Hong Kong dragnets have bad news. When they roll in force. Armoured personnel carriers, heavy armour, heavy weapons, sorcerers, the whole thing. And they aren't coming to arrest you. She folds her arms across her chest. The thin cigar bobs in her mouth as she speaks. The good news is, I can help you. With a wave of my hand, I can have your SINs disappear. But you need to understand, my darlings, is that what you're asking for is not a simple request. Burning an SIN isn't just deleting a number. It's wiping all reference to that number from all of the world's largest databases. It's masking your mugshot in the facial recognition database so that the first camera you walk past doesn't bring them down on you like a ton of bricks. It's covering our fucking tracks so that the act of burning your SIN doesn't lead them right to us. It requires contacts in numerous corporations and the UCAS government. Smoke rolls out of the Triad boss's nose. It requires someone like me. Therefore, I need to make a choice. She takes another drag on her cigarette and gently places her palm flat on the table. Do I kill you and dispose of your bodies before the cops come looking for you, or do I help you burn your SINs? You may want to think about your rep as a fixer. 2 of your runners were taken down by cops and you have no idea why. Cheng rests her chin on her hand and smiles at you coldly. So clever. So clever. Her chin stays on her hand, but her eyes look past you, surveying the Yellow Lotus soldiers in the room. Yes, I have been placed in a delicate situation, haven't I? Regardless, that's the situation whether you're alive or you're sucking dirt. She stares at you for a moment longer, chin still on her hand, thinking. Taps her ash on the floor without taking her eyes off you. A low, reluctant growl rumbles somewhere deep in her throat. You live. You're clever and I like that. I'll put your SINs to the torch. However, I need to call in several valuable favors within my network to do it, and those favors do not come cheap. Kindly Cheng stubs out her cigar. You will owe me. Oh, good, it's like Alice Fund all over again. Can't say I'm surprised. She pokes a finger in your direction. Of course you're not. You seem to have an understanding of how the world works. This give and take, that is a part of every fruitful relationship. I want you to deliver a message for me. To a business associate in the walled city. The Yellow Lotus has a strong presence inside. Isabel can tell you about it. Can't you, dear? Isabel grew up in the walled city. Isabel's eyes remain lowered. They collect taxes for the corporations, extort protection money from shopkeepers, run drugs, guns, people. They hurt people. We do those things, yes, but to be fair, we also operate the walled city's black market. You might not be alive today if it weren't for the lifeline that we provide. Isabel clams up tight. Cheng picks up a mahjong tile and turns it with her fingers. There is a red pole, a sort of enforcer, yes? On the inside. His name is Strangler Bao. Bao is a strong man, a good soldier, and he has forgotten his place. I need you to remind him. By remind him, you mean put a bullet in his head? No, if I wanted him dead, I would have said so. Don't jump to conclusions. You aren't any good at it. She tosses you a memory stick. This is a message for Bao. You will deliver it to him in my name, and then return to me. Remember, Wolf, Bao's men are my men. By right, they should all be serving me. I would prefer if you did this quietly and without killing them. I have no use for dead soldiers. She turns to Gorbet and Isabel. One of you will go with these two Westerners to the walled city. Help them locate Bao and show them the ropes. The other will remain here with me. I have several menial and degrading tasks that need doing around the establishment. No matter who goes and who stays, you'll both pay for bringing APB to my doorstep. Yes, Auntie. Yes, Auntie. Now, I'm going to find out who ordered the hit on Nightjar and do some dentistry on him with power tools. She closes her eyes and smiles with pleasure. That boy was my favourite. He sang to me sometimes. She opens her eyes again and sneers. That other one I don't care about. Gutshot was an asshole. I think he was the elf. She turns away and waves you off with the back of her hand. That will be all, my darlings. Return to me when you're done. One last question? She keeps her back to you, but you can tell she's making eye contact with her lieutenant. Why not? Apparently I'm feeling generous today. What happened on the docks tonight? Kindly Cheng's voice is small. I don't know. Well, that wasn't very helpful. Go away, Wolf. Right. Now can I go places? I'd like to buy armor, if nothing else, really. But you don't have any. And I don't know who does. Law's Techno Palace. Hey, Frederick. Could I come in now, please? Like I said, members only. Shove off. Okay. Mean. What was, Enter the walled city. That's it. The thug taps his earpiece, gestures with his head. Auntie Cheng said you'd be coming. You can pass. Uh-huh. When travelling to new mission locations, you will be able to choose which members of your team to bring and modify the loadout for the run. When members of your team become permanently incapacitated on a mission, they'll be automatically extracted for emergency medical care. They will be patched up and ready for action the next time you return to Hoi. Avoid this loss of firepower by always carrying some dock wagon trauma kits. Okie coke. Right, do I want a decker or a shaman? I really hate decking, but I think they're quite useful. But quite frankly, having haste is just so much better. So, you're coming with me, old girl? You're coming with me. City of Darkness. Kowloon Walled City. The most densely populated spot on Earth. Nearly 40,000 people crammed into 7 acres of chaos, poverty, disease, and vice. A self-contained city that collects no taxes and provides no city services. Stagnant water sits in temporary wells, trash lies piled on roofs for controlled burns. Improvised structures lean dangerously over populated areas. It's the ideal breeding ground for all manner of illicit trade. Drugs, gambling, black market trade, metahuman trafficking, and everything in between. The only law is triad law. And now, you need to enter this septic system of a city. Find a triad enforcer named Strangler Bao and deliver a message from Kindly Cheng. Yes, I do. Oh, I wish she could give me some spells. I got fuck all to do, so yeah, we're good. We're good, let's get going. Foul, oily water rains down from above, mixes with the filth and offal and swill of the streets, turns it into a flowing slurry of unrecognizable sewage. In the distance, the sounds of back alley activity add to the ambience of your arrival. Breaking glass, the crackling hiss of a garbage fire, faint screams of terror punctuated by occasional gunshot, sex and business and violence and misery blended into one. Wu winces at the stink, waves a hand in front of his face. Raymond said that prosperity is in the walled city, but I don't see it. Why the hell would he want to set one foot in this place? You got me. As I said, the walled city is the worst slum in the Eastern Hemisphere, maybe in the world. A rat pokes its head out of the fold in her clothing, squeaks softly. She reaches up a hand to comfort it. There's something wrong with this place. It isn't just a slum, it feels poisonous somehow. On an astral level, it churns my stomach to even come near it. Wu nods in agreement. Okay, you are right, this isn't the Barrens. It feels, I don't know, thicker. He goggles the place. Which way? The Lotus Den. That's what Bao calls his little corner of hell. I don't know where it is offhand, but I have a way of finding things. There's a flurry of motion at her hip, and a second pair of beady eyes appears. Gobbet shifts her hand from one rat to the other, stroking each in turn. They probably aren't expecting anyone to come in force. We can kick the door, drop the guards, hand over the message and get the hell out. Kindly doesn't want them dead. She wants them to remember where their loyalties lie. It's tough to remember much of anything when you've got a bullet in your head. I mean, we could kill them if you really wanted to. Technically, Bao is the only one that has to live, but I'd rather keep Auntie Cheng happy than piss her off again. This group's safety is my biggest concern. We don't need to risk our necks for a bunch of triad thugs. I like the way you think. Damn right, let's do this. You're damn straight. You damn straight, boy. What was this? Optional, do not kill any Yellow Lotus. Duncan and Gobbet must survive. Let's head down this way first. A putrid stench emanates from the remains of this building. You see nothing that would cause it. Wait, who are you? A bedraggled old woman looks up from her sewing at the sound of your approach. Clothing, clothing. I have good quality clothing for sale. What's the news here? Anything interesting? Interesting? Here? No, nothing changes here. Nothing changes. She settles her weight with an audible harumph. Strangler Bao is the big man now. He is very important, very impatient. You know Bao? We'd love to meet him. Well, he requested a suit, and it took only 1 day longer than expected. The bastard refused to accept it. She spits. You see your friend Bao. You tell him that he still owes me for my time. I don't sew for nothing. You can't eat air. We'll get right on that. She nods sagely. You see that you do. Now, what else do you want? Ever heard of... prosperity is in the walled city? She cocks her head like a dog listening to a noise that it can't understand. Prosperity? She sounds it out to herself. I don't know what that means. Later, lady. Why don't you sell things? I want to buy something. Over here, help! A young woman lies on the ground. She's a bloody mess. Streaks and spatters of crimson crisscross her blouse and mat her hair. Judging by the quality of her clothing and the bag on her shoulder, you'd make out that she's a student. She's as out of place here as a librarian would be in a game of urban brawl. She struggles to move, but she's clearly exhausted. The dark circles under her eyes tell you that she hasn't slept in days. When the woman sees you heading her way, her face hardens. You see her hands slip into her jacket pocket, but as she studies your faces, the fear in her eyes gives way to curiosity. You guys don't look like you're from around here. A hacking cough shakes her, but her eyes remain fixed on you. You either. Who are you? I'm a student at HKU. She glances around watchfully, over your shoulder, at the buildings looming above her, into windows nearby. Doing some research. Gotta finish before I can leave. This place is dangerous. What are you doing here alone? I wasn't alone, not until a few days ago. Another long, wet cough. I'd been living with a family in one of the inner blocks for the last couple of months, working on my master's thesis. What happened? A pained expression washes over her face. I'm not 100% sure. The mother, she worked in a dive bar as a hostess. The father was a handyman. They never really went anywhere. Didn't have the money to. I woke up one day and the whole family was gone. Just gone. I squatted in their place a while, but then some people started coming around, eyeing the place. I figured I should get out, finish my research as fast as I could and head back to campus. Then I got sick. Wu grunts. What kind of research would you do in a place like this? My thesis is about Feng Shui in the 6th world. This was the right place to do it, the only place to do it, otherwise I wouldn't be here. Still in the data gathering phase, or are you attempting to verify a hypothesis? The student's tired face brightens. Verification. You know about Feng Shui? Specifically how it applies here in Hong Kong? Plenty. Then you know why my research has to be done here. You understand what the disharmony of the walled city means, magically speaking. You get how bad the Feng Shui here is, and what that must mean for the flow of qi in the area. On second thought, maybe you should explain it all to me. I'm a little rustier than I thought. She nods. Okay, alright. So as you may know, Feng Shui is one of the 5 arts of Chinese metaphysics. Before the awakening, it was thought of as a philosophical system for harmonizing people with the surrounding environment. Today, in the 6th world, Feng Shui is more than just a philosophical construct. It's actually a form of magic. The whole thing revolves around qi, the invisible life energy that binds every person and thing together. It's very real here in Hong Kong. Nobody knows the reason why. Maybe it's only real because people believe that it is. The important thing is, it's a measurable, quantifiable phenomenon. There's an entire industry that's grown up around it. This doesn't look like a place where people are harmonized with anything. No, it isn't. Not at all. The Feng Shui in the walled city is completely screwed. I mean, just look at the place. She gestures at the squalor around you. The qi is all wrong here. You can feel it, right? I feel that something was wrong the minute I walked in. Bad qi, huh? Yeah, bad Feng Shui. Qi needs to flow or it goes sour. Positive Feng Shui allows that to happen. The woman clears her throat, then lets out a hacking cough. The effort requires a moment for her to recover before she speaks again. You know, I hate to admit it, but I could use some help. I started running well, I guess you'd call it an experiment of sorts. Nothing conclusive, just a few quick trials to support my hypothesis before I go into hardcore data gathering mode. There are only a few things left to do. If you could finish them for me, I could get out of here. She holds out a crumpled piece of paper. Please, follow the notes on this sheet. Duncan takes the paper from her outstretched hand and examines it, frowning. Just say what you need us to do. I need you to make adjustments to the area's feng shui. My notes will tell you how. The goal is to remove sources of friction and to record the results. My hypothesis is that even a small adjustment can have a measurable impact on key flow. If I'm right, it should improve, and life here should get just a little bit better. I'll see what I can do. Who's this? Another merchant. The street vendor gestures towards a jumbled pile of tarnished chairs, costume jewellery and trinkets on a stained flannel blanket. Look at these beauties. Very valuable, very pretty. Ever heard anyone say prosperity is in the walled city? No, that's not something that someone would say around here. How can you stand this place? Gives you the stink eye. You mean my home? The vendor softens, becomes wistful. In my experience, you can get used to anything regardless of how horrible it is. It just becomes normal after a while. But this place is getting worse, no question about it. Last 20, 30 years, it's been nothing but downhill. Nothing goes right here. Maybe you can change that though, by buying something, huh? What do you got? Oh, fetishes. No. I'll see you around. Wires are sparking dangerously just above the doorway. I could patch the worn out coating. A quick patch job with some nearby waste rubber leaves the wires safe once more. Hooray! Oh, maybe that broken down building we saw earlier is something we can do. I think it was there, wasn't it? Maybe this woman wants to talk to us now. No. Okay. Oh, this was literally a dead end. That's annoying. Come on guys, mad dash. You know what it's all about. Should probably do a little save, because I think at some point some shit's gonna happen. That's probably where I need to go actually. Yellow Lotus. Mark Store's been picked clean, its owner replaced by a pool of dried blood. That is a shame. Gobbet comes up short. She gestures down at a pile of filthy rags on the ground, a man's shirt encrusted with dried blood and grime. Hey, hold up. This cloth has a lot of negative energy coming off of it. I think there's a spirit bound to it. I feel it too. What do you think it is? Well, it's a ghost. Either that, or a spirit of man that thinks it's a ghost. It's hard to be sure. She stares at the cloth, frowning. Whatever it is, it's upset. I can feel its anger and sorrow from here. But that's all I can get from it while it's hiding like this. I could coax it out of the cloth and talk to it with, if you want. Maybe it'll lead to something. Or it could attack us and rip our souls out. There's no way to tell without trying. I'm up for a spirit chat. As the energies bound into the cloth begin to swirl, Gobbet cocks her head appreciatively. Not bad, Aethrill. I like your style. The air above the body rags, the bloody rag shimmers. Slowly, something close to a man shape coalesces into being. A soft voice echoes out from deep inside, as if it began somewhere else. What is this? The spirit peers at you through eyes as soft and undefined as poached eggs. Where am I? You shed your body, you're a spirit now. Spirit? I am. It raises its hands to examine them, blank eyes sweeping over dead flesh. How? What's the last thing you remember? The last thing. The spirit searches the sky for an answer. I was pushed out of my shop, hunted through alleys. The spirit's mouth widens in horror. Bao. Bao and his men. I wouldn't pay them. Wouldn't accept their protection. Proud. I was too proud. The cold light flares from behind, somewhere deep in its throat. They tore me apart, butchered me like a duck. It searches the sky, the ground, tearing at the memories inside itself. As it relives its own death, a network of deep cuts opens in its waxy skin, splattering black ichor on the ground. The cold light within it grows brighter. It pulses up the thing's throat and into its mouth, forcing its jaw to unhinge like a snake's. A burning radiance pours out of the spirit's mouth like vomit, spattering to the ground in an ectoplasmic flood of anger and despair. Well, that was nasty. Bao and his men. You want them to pay, don't you? Yes, revenge. The resonance of the words penetrates you, scrapes at something inside of you. Gobber gives you a sidelong glance. Careful, Aetherill. Cheng didn't want any Yellow Lotus killed. Revenge. The spirit's spidery fingers twitch. They begin to curl, then taper, then blacken until they're set of wicked sharp hooks. The spirit looks at you expectantly. Wait, maybe you should let all that hatred go. Be better than them. Could you get me into Bao's Lotus Den peacefully? The spirit's eyes roll in its head and it shudders, struggling to let the passion dissipate. I had a friend. It squeezes its eyes shut as it struggles to remember. A smuggler of animals. He had a space. Hidden. Secret. Tell me about the secret space. An entrance in the sublevels. The spirit clasps its head in its hands. A chute. A door. Red paint and numbers. 5465. 5465. Thanks, spirit. Was that this place over here? Let me see what these guys say first. Game saved. Hello. A well-muscled and heavily tattooed Triad member looks up from his PDA, bored but alert. Behind him, other Yellow Lotus soldiers take notice and turn to leer at you. You're in the wrong neighborhood, tourist boy. You and all your little tourist friends. I'm a local jackass. I work for Kindly Cheng. We all do. Show some respect. The Triad soldier sneers at her. Is that so? Then you already know that you shouldn't be here. That fossil doesn't run things around here anymore. His hand strays to his jacket in a conspicuous bulge in the fabric. Could be a gun, a knife, or a blackjack. Best get moving, little girl. Best move before we hurt you all real bad. I'm not going to tell you twice. We're here to deliver a message. He pauses in mock consideration. No, I don't think so. We haven't been told to expect anyone. Look, this is a message directly from Kindly Cheng to Strangler Bao. They're both above your station. You want to stand in the way of that? I sure as hell wouldn't. The Yellow Lotus's soldier's mouth tightens. This is a trick. You're just trying to get close to Bao so that you can put a bullet in him. If Kindly Cheng wanted Bao dead, you wouldn't be talking to me. You'd be dead, and an army of Kindly soldiers would be kicking in his door. I'd listen to him if I were you. You turn us away, you might piss Cheng off enough for those soldiers to come knocking. The leer drops off his face. He seems to deflate. You say you have a message for Bao. Okay, you go through. Just keep your hands where we can see them. Sure, sweetheart. Doopity boop boop boop. Got some money. Always nice to get. What's down this way? Some locked doors. SimSense vending machine. Don't mind if I do. There's a package data ship. Can I save and then see what happens if I steal it? Yoink. Okay. Oh, hello. Strangler Bow's code. Code for what, though? The door has been sealed with a factory fresh maglock. A high-sec keypad has been set into the frame. Keypad awaits your input. 6378. The door unlocks. Hello. A large man in his 50s stands waiting. His heavily tattooed arms held in a fighter's stance. His bone structure is heavy, corded muscle stands out on his arms and chests. Chests? Because he has multiple of them, apparently. In his youth, he must have had enormous... No. Oh, why can't I read? Apparently I'm really tired and I can't read. In his youth, he must have been enormous. He doesn't talk so much as a mitt, a low rumble. I don't know how you got in here, but you got my attention. Candygram for Strangler Bow. Much love, kindly Cheng. You're funny. His eyes get a stony look. I don't do funny. So you have some sort of message from Cheng. I can't wait to hear you mangle it. You speak Cantonese so well. He chuckles to himself. But before I hear it, I have a little message for her too. You tell kindly Cheng that her operations are done in the walled city. Strangler Bow has given himself a promotion. And tell her that if she sends any more errand boys to visit him with another message, Strangler Bow is going to send them back in a box. You think you can tell her that, errand boy? Should I write it down for you in English? Just slot the stick, listen to the message, and I'll be gone, okay? I don't get to hear you butcher the message. I'm sad. He grabs the small plastic drive from your hand, slots it into his trid player. Kindly Cheng stands erect, speaks directly to the camera. Mr. Bao, as everyone knows, you're a man of swift action. I respect that, and because of that respect, I will get right to the point. I know where your money is coming from. I know that you have friends working for Straw Sandals like myself. They have been siphoning funds from their organizations. I know about that noodle shop that you launder the money through. I have tasted their broth and found it wanting. The old woman becomes flinty hard. You have been stealing from the Yellow Lotus, glorifying yourself with revenue that we have earned, and I have files to prove it. Bao's eyes widen as files begin to flit across the screen. Receipts, bank reports, personal communications between himself and his men. Kindly Cheng continues speaking, smooth and casual. Now, in light of our recent conflict, you might be wondering why I'm keeping this information to myself. Why I haven't exposed you so you could be dragged from your lotus den by the balls and slowly roasted on a rotisserie spit. In truth, I respect your ambition. You have a lot to learn about candor and loyalty, but I believe you still have value. I am still willing to work with you. However, in order for that to happen, we need to come to an understanding about the nature of our partnership. Kindly Cheng steps forward, fills the screen. I own you, Bao. You and all of your men. You are my fucking playthings. Dolls to twist and pose as I see fit. I am in this position because I am far better at this than you, and it's time you learned it. Accept what I'm telling you, and we can get back to business. Prosper together. But if you continue your little rebellion, I will mail tiny pieces of you to your chicken... Why can't I read? I will post tiny pieces of you to your children and take their picture as they open the package. She produces one of her thin black cigars, lights it, holds the smoke a long time. You have 24 hours to return to the fold. If you aren't here licking my heels by then, the information will be released and you will become food for fish. Your choice, Bao. 24 hours. The message winks out. Strangler Bao turns away from the screen slowly. His skin is ashen. Get out. He pauses, casts his eyes to the floor. And tell Mrs. Cheng to expect me at Swift Winds tomorrow. He stands up straight. Tomorrow morning. It was a pleasure meeting you, Mr. Bao. Go. Just go. God, he must hate me so much. And I love it. Doop-a-doop-boop-boo. Everyone here's okay with me just running through? No one wants to kill me or shoot at me? Where are these other things that you want me to do? I can't find them. Repair the walled city. Duncan and Gobbet must survive. Return to Hoi. I must be missing something. Is this something, maybe? Let me talk to that other guy one last time. Because if it's not, then I have no idea where else I'm supposed to do these things that he's asked me to do. Hello, Mr. Merchant. I still don't want anything. Okay, off with Pobble. Let's come back here. Wu holds up his hands for everyone to stop. Turns to the two of you and hooks his thumbs in his belt. Well, that was a thing. Never thought I'd be shuttling messages between criminals in a Hong Kong syndicate. Can't imagine what Raymond would have wanted in the walled city. This place just feels wrong. No kidding. There's something off about it. This place makes you feel like your life has no value. Like there's no point to anything. He sighs and looks at your companion. Great life you have here, runner. Gobbet ignores the barb, scratches her head. I can't believe it. We actually delivered the old lady's message without anyone dying. I've had enough of triads. Let's get out of this pit. I'm with you, Gunshow. I don't need to see this place ever again. Gunshow? Seriously? Wu's goggles pan down, come to rest on Gobbet. That's not going to stick, is it? That's your runner name now, Gunshow. It's hard to shake off the walled city. Its gravity clings to you, as if wretchedness itself has grown tentacles. The sounds of suffering subside, but their echoes still thrum in your insides. Gobbet walks slowly, head down and both hands on her stomach, whispering a conversation to someone or something that only she can see. Her rats are silent and remain hidden in her clothing. Wu pauses a moment and breathes a sigh of relief when you finally reach the streets. But returning to Hoi isn't like coming home. Suspicious looks and closed mouths accent unsmiling faces that billboard a universal message. You don't belong here. Time to report to Kindly Cheng and inform her that the message has been delivered. Get this business over with. Get your sin burned. Get on the next step, whatever that is. You leave the city of darkness behind. Head to the Mahjong parlor. And a date with a crime lord. I got an achievement. They're not worth it. Complete City of Darkness without any of the Yellow Lotus dying. So I obviously didn't do that mission earlier about fixing the city, but where the fuck... I don't know what else I was supposed to do. Oh, never mind. What's this? A large X fashioned from overlapping strips of peeling duct tape. Alright, whatever. Kindly Cheng watches you closely as you walk across the Mahjong parlor. As you approach, her lieutenant leans in, brings her mouth close to the Triad's boss's ear. Cheng smiles and nods, her eyes never leaving you. There's a twinkle in the straw sandal's eye. I've heard from Bao. He got my message very clearly, and I understand that there were no casualties created during your little delivery run. I am pleased and surprised. You gave simple instructions. Would have taken an idiot to mess it up. A wry grin. You'd be surprised how many idiots I have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. My message was delivered and Strangler Bao is back in the fold, earning for me. As far as I'm concerned, our transaction is complete. While you were gone, I set the wheels in motion to wipe your identities. She pulls out her PDA, stabs a button with a lacquered fingernail. The order has been sent. Congratulations, you are now sinless. Shadow people. Wu exhales heavily. His eyes remain focused straight ahead, but his shoulders sag. Well, I guess that's done. Yeah, I guess so, but I'm not. Wu pulls himself up to his full height. Whoever gave the kill order on Carter also forced us to give up our identities and took Raymond. Wu sets his jaw firm. That's all I can think about. Finding who did this. Finding Ray. Kindly Cheng holds up a hand. While I was working to get your sins burned, I also had my network look into Raymond Black's disappearance. I've been thinking about what you told me earlier, and I agree. She eyes the room carefully and leans in. I can't just let this lie. Someone killed my runners. It would be a sign of weakness if to the Yellow Lotus, and the others if I do nothing. She rests her PDA on the Mahjong table, facing you. The Triad boss's tongue slips from her mouth as she looks over it, hunting for the right button on its upside-down interface. She finds it and looks up at you again. I have news to share with you, my darlings, the kind you won't like. Raymond Black is dead. She taps the button, and a recorded newscast appears on the screen. Raymond's photograph appears on the screen behind a reporter standing on the docks in Victoria Harbour. It's a picture you've seen before, a professional portrait taken for a press release about a youth centre he was opening in the Redmond Barrens. Under Raymond's photo are the words, Seattle man killed. Another shooting involving the police department. A Seattle community organiser and industrial engineer was apparently shot and killed while resisting arrest at Victoria Harbour last night. HKPF police report that the UCAS man, Raymond Black, was behaving erratically and would not respond to police orders to surrender. No additional information regarding Black or why he was travelling to Hong Kong are available. Police have stated that due to the shooting's proximity to last night's shootout at the White Star, the investigation must remain confidential and no other details are being revealed at this time. Kindly Cheng taps the button again and the video closes. Wu puts his hands to his face. This just keeps getting worse. This definitely isn't getting any better. Raymond's dead. Wu puts his hand over his mouth, trying to process the information. He sways, and for a moment it looks as though he's going to pass out. Isabel reaches out to touch Wu, thinks better of it, and pulls her hand back. Sorry for your loss. I never had a father, so I don't know what it's like to lose one, but I'm sorry. Raymond dies the same night we're ambushed. That's no coincidence. No fucking way. Kindly taps the video closed. She hunts around the keypad and selects another button. I'm afraid that's not all, my darlings. This is security footage from Victoria Harbour from last night. You'll find it contains a contradiction. The PDA shows silent, grainy video footage of Raymond sitting in a tea shop flanked by 2 guards. He's looking down at something in his hand, completely distracted. The footage continues, and the camera displays several black-clad figures entering its field of view from different angles, guns ready. A tall, sharply dressed man in a suit walks briskly towards Raymond, flanked by 2 more. Raymond stands to face him, and the camera gets a clear view of the suit's face, white plastic. His guards turn to draw weapons, and muzzle flashes erupt from all around. One of Raymond's guards goes down, and his submachine gun fires wildly, hitting the camera. Wu puts his hands on the table and leans in. Those weren't cops, and Raymond wasn't resisting arrest. What's with that guy's face? Gobbert reaches up to stroke the rat perched on her shoulder. Is that a mask? It doesn't look like a mask. It looks like some sort of semi-rigid plastic implant. Real craftsmanship. She pushes out her lower lip in appreciation. Quite the fashion accessory. It's also the kind of fashion accessory that stands out in a crowd. This guy's either a fool or an arrogant son of a bitch. He sets his jaw firm. Either way, I'm going to kill him. Kindly Cheng watches Wu intently. I believe you. Wu stands back and turns to you. What now? We find the plastic-faced man and drag him somewhere private, make him dig his own hole, then we fill it. Cheng's eyes sparkle. I like the way you think. That is exactly what I would do. But how? I'm afraid there are some facts you are going to have to face. She puts on a grave face. You are alone in this country. No network, no money, no identity. I can protect you from the police. But how would you go about discovering what happened to Raymond without me? How would you survive? Kindly wipes her hand across a stack of tiles, spreading the ivory-coloured pieces across the table. You've had a very long night, my sweets. Very long. And frankly, you all look like shit. Right now, I promise you safety in my town for the night. We'll talk about the plastic-faced man tomorrow. Kindly gestures to Gobbert and Isabel. Ladies, go find our new friends a place to bed down in that rat's nest squat boat you call a home. We'll all talk after you've slept. Figure out our next steps together. Yes, Auntie. Yes, Auntie. Rat's Nest Squat Boat. We call it the Bolt Hole. It's the abandoned trawler we call home. Isabel tries a smile. It's homey. Meet you there. Let's go, Mel. I'm beat to hell. Okay, this is good. 2 o'clock. I'm going to go get some lunch and finish up the stream. I just wanted to do a little testy test with the new microphone. Check the levels and whatnot. And also, obviously, the camera and the green screen and whatnot. So I'll do that. Good stuff. Thanks for watching, guys. It's been a pleasure as always. This has been Shadowrun Hong Kong. We're starting our new adventure. We have a guy who was like a father to us who is dead, and we're trying to find out why. Perfect. We will do so next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.